Everything is memory, all gone now.
A lullaby call from beyond the bay, the siren song of sea and sand, and a weary wind from the west. We have a company creative collaboration called Raisin Willow, but for Seabreeze we're working with Imitating the Dog and Live at Leica. Yeah.
Seabreeze came out of a summer school that Live at Leica ran in the Morecambe Winter Gardens with a different theatre company called Talking Birds. And two of the participants in that summer school were none other than Raisin and Willow. So from their time at the Winter Gardens, they started to imagine a project which later became Seabreeze, which they built in collaboration with Imitating the Dog, and for which we ran a pilot last year, 2013. And we shared a few performances of Seabreeze to audiences at that point, and it was really, really successful really quickly. And because for us it was a pilot, we didn't really have the time to do as much in the building or to do lots of other things like the book that we're making, like this film that we're making. We didn't have the chance to do that, so we decided to revive the project this year so that it can be accessed and experienced by a much greater number of people.
It began when we came here 5 years ago and just fell in love with this building.
I think it started with Jonathan and Elizabeth getting in touch, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably through a producer that we both worked with, just saying that they were interested in us coming to look at the space, really, see what we might be able to do. And yeah, just from that moment of coming in for the first time and looking at this, it's absolutely breathtaking. I've never been anywhere like it. And from that moment, I think we were absolutely hooked and just wanted to do something with the space. What an honour it is.
That was our kind of first impression, just ourselves, and then we've tried to illuminate that sense of what does it mean for a building to have had a huge rich history and then to still be here in a sort of suspended state where on the one hand it's crumbling, on the other hand it's trying to survive in a new world as a theatre, and to kind of relate our sense of it, our impressions of it, our responses to it, to the responses and the reactions of people who know it well, who've lived with it through their lives, worked in it particularly. So we spent a lot of time talking to people who worked in the building, but in the sort of backstage, front of house, the people who kind of made it work rather than the stars.
Well, we've always talked about, and we talked initially about the fact that we wanted it to feel as though the building was talking and breathing. So it's a little bit bringing the building back to life, really. And most of it's informed by memory of the place. Well, it's all informed by memory of the place. So it all comes from stories that Raisin and Willow have been told about what happened here. So it's about trying to make the space breathe.
The dust felt really important, and what it holds, that maybe there's the whisker from a tiger that performed, or maybe there's a sequin from a trapeze artist or something like that. I loved this concentration and distillation of memories into dust, that they can hold anything. She is gathering dust, walking the empty theatre. She pushes with her broom like the sea pushing in. I like that it's suspended between the past and the future. I like the detail and the crumbling walls and the faded paint and the layers and the memories that are made very tangible of what happened in this building and its history, whether at its heyday, its success as a theatre, or as something that's open to the elements and is changing. Sometimes the sea
text. I mean, the text we've written, we went away and wrote pieces of text writing separately, Elizabeth and myself, which kind of have the two voices that we thought were important. The voice of the building itself and a voice describing a kind of mythical person who's a sort of composite of all the people who might have worked here. Someone who sweeps up the dust is the key thing. But we've, rather than have the text performed live, the text is all recorded. It's very much coming across as voices coming out of the building. But the music is a live element, and that's quite interesting to have played with what's live and what's recorded, what's fixed and what's fluid.
I'm a musician. I play bass, clarinet and flute. In this show, we're right at the top of the gods at the Winter Gardens. It's a really amazing space to be in. You can play 2 notes and it just reverberates around the whole place. It's fantastic.
So, one of the things we discovered in our researches is that a couple of years after the building opened, sort of at the very beginning of the 20th century, there was a very big choral festival that happened here in Morecambe. And in 1901, Edward Elgar wrote a song to be performed by a choir here called Weary Wind of the West, which we found and very much liked. I've rearranged it slightly, and we've recruited a group of local singers. Some of them sing in other choirs, some of them don't, and we've got some choral music, vocal music, all based around this lovely Edward Elgar song, which has proved really lovely. It's just hinted at, and well, you have to come and see the show, but it's there in its full form at some point. Thinking about our breathing, making our breaths audible, the sense of the sea and the building, or breathing, and then gradually introducing that minor chord, so a drone note, which we all kind of join in with, and then we can start playing with. See if we can always got someone singing one or other.
It's really exciting, actually.
Really exciting. I'm not as nervous as I was the first time because we
know what to
this.
expect.
Yeah, and it's quite extraordinary to be sitting up there, almost in the gods, knowing that you all of these extraordinary projections and happenings are working their way through. So there's not many changes, I don't think, to the projections, but there'll be a different violinist, and the whole thing works together so well.
And we're using dust from the show and feathers from seagulls that we found in the building are all used in the show. So again, it's that what's imaginary and what's real coming together. And I think that's another very important part of the show, and working with imitating the dog, is that you have very physical, real things like dust and sand and the structure of the building, and then overlaid with that are memories, imaginary things, virtual things. So I think using projection in the show, so projecting onto the real fabric of the building, is very strong. And again, it's these two things meeting, the real and the imaginary.
I'm Andrew Quick, and I'm also work with Imitating the Dog as one of the creative directors. Okay. And I'm working on this project with Simon and Jonathan and Elizabeth. I suppose my role is really sort of dramaturgical. I'm a link between projection work and the text, and helping them with the journey through the text and the physical work on the stage.
So second time round, it's good because we know that the show works. We had so much positive feedback last time, so it's about enhancing what we did. I mean, when we made it last time, we only actually had a week, so we just made the whole thing in a week. So there was lots of things that were put in as sort of markers of what we'd like to do, so we're trying to expand on that. and we try not to break what we had.
Try it, see what you think.
It's been really exciting. I mean, one of the things I think we did that happened in the first production was that we didn't really have too much time in the space to really work on the detail of the physical journey that Elizabeth makes through the piece. But we set the chairs out in a different order to give a sense of like the chairs like broken teeth in a jaw, so that you can sort of see where the audience would have sat, and so Elizabeth playing this cleaner or ghost is sort of working her way through this space, and across the arc of our broader performance she has this particular journey of being in the space and then leaving the space at the end. So we've been really working on the detail of that this week, and I think that'll make a big difference from the, if you like, the first version of the show and the one that the audience will see in September.
And her, with her broom and her dreams of dancing and her buckets to catch the falling rain. She is sweeping, gathering dust and treasure. She is sweeping, gathering memories and putting them in the pocket of her penny.
So we're really proud to say that Seabreeze is very much a project that is backed by popular demand. So people were saying as they were coming out of last year's version that we had to bring it back and that other people had to see it. And we also felt that it was something we really, really wanted to do, spend some more time in the building, some more time meeting with people in Morecambe and really exploring the nooks and crannies of the buildings and how we can use it to tell stories in new and innovative ways and see the show. And we're making a really beautiful book which I put some of the stories that we've collected. So we're working as much on the show but also on lots of other things around the show to ensure that that its legacy lives on and that we have something to show for it at the end.
Two girls are swinging high over the schools. Cinderella pantomime. She was fascinated that day to this. It was magical, all magical. She sold ice creams for 6 pence.
Everything is memory, and memories are nearly gone. Everything is memory. Bring on the song.